Hi, this is Lee Langdon. Today on the podcast, I visit with Caleb Hensel and Anna Rose Cain. Guys, at the time of this recording, they will be getting married in 2 weeks. It's so great. Listen to the story of their romance and their hopes for the future. And I hope you will have a chance to meet this great couple, but you may need to wait until after their honeymoon. Okay, guys, let's jump in. Welcome to the Young Adult World podcast. Caleb Hensel and Anna Rose Cain, welcome to the Young Adult World podcast.
Thanks
for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I love that you guys are on today because you have something very special coming up. Let's just get that out. What's happening soon for you guys?
There's going to be a wedding.
Yep.
We're getting married.
You're getting married.
Yep. Our wedding.
That is so exciting.
It is.
It really is.
That's a teaser because we're going to come back to that for sure.
Okay.
Caleb, let's start with you. Tell us about where you were born.
I was born at Mercy Hospital in Edmond, Oklahoma when I was 4 years old, getting up in front of the church, standing up there with my family here at Memorial Road and getting the prayer of blessing and then leaving for 6 years. So we would then leave to Vienna, Austria and do mission work for 6 years. I could speak English and that's, as much as a 4-year-old can and communicate there, but I don't have too many memories before that. That's where I did my kindergarten and through 4th grade. So for 6 years, that's where I grew up.
What was it like? I mean, how do you remember learning the language and do you remember all that kind of thing? What are your earliest memories in Austria?
So some of my earliest memories just be, to answer your question, I don't remember ever learning German. I just remember like talking with my friends and that was always in German. And then talking with my parents was always in English. And so my parents could speak German. They were learning and studying, and my dad was really good. Earliest memories, kindergarten, playing foosball with the boys, playing soccer. I mean, we would do a house church. So that was the reason we were there is we did a church plant in Vienna. So all my friends from school would come, and we would go just in my living room and have church. So it would be my living room or the Haskew's living room. The lesson was always in German, but some of the songs we would sing would be in English, but for the most part, also German.
The Haskew's are still there.
Yes.
We support them as a church, right?
Yes. Yeah, the Haskew's are still there. They've been doing it for 14 years or whatever, and had my family stayed, and we'd be the same, 14 years. I did most of my growing there. When I was 10 years old, we came back and moved to Woodward, Oklahoma.
Yeah. So tell me about, before we go to Woodward, talk about your family. You've got, obviously, mom and dad, but you have siblings.
Mm-hmm. I have one older sister, Carly, and then 2 little brothers. One is Cotter, and he's a sophomore at OC. Now he's going to be a junior. And then the youngest is Carson, and he's 14. He's about to be in high school. And Carson was actually born in Vienna. So he was 2 years old when we came back to the United States. But he doesn't remember anything about Vienna because he was 2.
You're still fluent in German?
I would say I'm a nice proficient. I wouldn't say I'm fluent. I forget words. I forget some sentence structure because I don't use it very much. But I did study abroad for 3 months with some of my friends here at OC, and it kind of came back.
So you moved back when you were 10. You moved to Woodward. Was that 5th grade? What was that?
5th grade. Yep. So I had finished the Austrian version of elementary school. So they get done after 4th grade. And then they basically go to like high school.
Wow.
It's like you go either to a trade school or you learn and you focus on what you're going to study from then on for your job after 4th grade.
Wow.
So I was ready for that. But then I come back to the States and it's like, oh, you're still in 5th grade.
Do you consider yourself a third culture kid?
So that's an interesting question, Lee. I didn't know if you were going to ask that. But I would say no. Technically from the technical definition, yes, I'm a third culture kid. I had a really easy return. I think my parents decided, they kind of planned it. It seemed like at a perfect time to where when we came back, young kids move quite often and not as much to a small town like Woodward. So a lot of the people had already made their friends, but it was a really easy adjustment for me. I was able to make friends pretty quickly and I didn't have too much stress about that. Coming in at 10 years old, I was able to pick up on what it means to be from Oklahoma and from Woodward, and
Mm-hmm.
I was able to go hunting with my grandpa and fishing with my friends and do all the small town things and drive the tractor. And I did football, basketball. I didn't play much on basketball. I played a little bit in football. I was still pretty small in middle school. And then high school came around, and I stuck with soccer. That's what I stuck with. And maybe that's because I played in Vienna, or I don't know why, but stuck with that all 4 years. And yeah, it was really fun.
Tell me some of the most formative, like spiritually formative moments from your childhood.
Okay. Well,
Just one or two.
Missionary family. My parents were always pretty strict on that stuff. Not like overbearing, but there was definitely a pressure to follow, and always, it was a given. You were going to church no matter what you think. Some of the biggest experience, the first one I'd say is when I was working for my grandpa, and he would come outside and he'd be like, "Caleb, what are you doing?" So I'm like, "I'm mowing the yard." He said, "Caleb, no, what are you doing?" It's like, "I'm mowing the yard, Papa. I don't know what you mean." He'd say, "Well, do you know right from wrong?" And I was probably 14 or 15 at this point, and my grandpa was wanting me to go make the decision and get baptized. He's like, "Do you know right from wrong?" And I was like, "Yes, I know right from wrong." He's like, "Do you know when you lie?" I'm like, "Yes." And he's like, "Well, what are all those things?" I'm like, "Well, those are sins, Papa." And he said, "So right now, if Jesus were to come back, do you think you'd go to heaven?" And I was like, "Oh my!" So that was and that's the first time I really thought about it. And I was like, "Yeah, I don't think I would." And so pretty soon after that, I'd go home and talk to my dad, and we were like, "All right, well," and I told him, I was like, "I want to get baptized." So I think 2 weeks later, I was baptized, not even doing some studying with my dad, and he baptized me at the pool, at my grandparents' pool there in Woodward.
I know this pool well.
And yeah, so we spent a lot of time at that pool, and I actually got baptized there. So that was the biggest, that was the day I decided to follow Jesus, and I put him on in baptism, and I'll remember that for the rest of my life. And what I really remember is my grandpa kind of making me really consider what it meant to follow Jesus. And I had known my whole life, but not until that day when I was mowing the yard, when he was like, "What are you doing?" I came to OC, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I definitely wasn't thinking I was going to join the a cappella worship group at Oklahoma Christian. But I went to a worship night, and they were up there leading worship. I was like, "Man, that's awesome. Like, I want to do that." I think that summer with New Rain is when I experienced the Holy Spirit for the most consistent first time in my life, where I was just pouring out my heart to God, praising in front of lots of people and with lots of people. And I would feel this tingling sensation, and it was like, okay, here's the Spirit. Here I am.
I mean, you don't know how the Spirit's going to work, where he's going to be. The Spirit's like a wind, and he's doing great, great things. And man, that's awesome that he did and is doing some great work. Anna Rose, let's switch to you. I can't wait to learn more about you.
I'm from Wewoka, Oklahoma, so kind of the middle of nowhere. It's a very small town.
Wewoka, where is that exactly in Oklahoma?
It's like 15 minutes from Seminole, if you know where that is.
Okay.
So southeast of here.
What was school like for you? Like, do you remember grade school?
I pretty much grew up with the same group of people my entire school experience, which is really unique.
What were you involved in school? What was it like for you?
A little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Small town, lots of opportunities to be involved in things because they need people to do everything.
Yeah.
So I was on the track team.
What events did you do?
Went to state in track. I did the 3,200 meter, and then the 1,600 meter, 3,200 meter relay, and the 800.
You're a long distance runner.
I was cross country
Yeah.
and basketball. And then I did FFA. I was the president of FFA.
Okay.
And I was on the academic team.
Well, FFA. So did you show certain animals?
I did not.
What was your role in FFA?
I just did speaking. I did speech contests.
Oh, yeah.
And then I did a lot of other activities that they had.
And you were homecoming queen.
Hello.
Come on, there's more.
Homecoming queen.
Yep, I was the homecoming queen. I was student council president, class president.
So you were like Miss Wewoka.
I mean, that's maybe a little bit next.
Caleb?
I don't know.
She was
yeah.
definitely Miss Wewoka.
Yeah.
Do you have siblings?
I do. I have 4.
4 siblings.
Yes.
Can you tell us about them?
Yeah, I have 2 older brothers. My oldest brother graduated from OC a few years ago, and he is an accountant. And then my second oldest brother, he has autism, so he lives at home with my parents, and he just works and helps my grandparents all the time. And then I'm the middle, and then I have a sister who's gonna be a sophomore at OC, and a little brother who's 13.
Was church pretty, I would assume, it was pretty formative for you?
Yes, very. I think all my first friends and role models all came from church.
Who were some of your strongest role models?
My grandparents, but also outside of that, I'd say just a lot of the older ladies at church. I think they were really involved in my life and my sister's life and a lot of the other younger girls, and they kind of just taught us how to be good Christian girls, which is kind of like easy to say, but they just really lived out a good Christian life and then taught us how to do the same.
I mean, when you see authentic faith, when you see somebody really living out their faith you can tell a difference between that and somebody who's faking it or
Yes.
just kind of saying they're Christians. They're not really living the life.
Yes.
But you're saying these women really showed you authentic faith.
Yes. They really taught us how to serve. They were always the first to help and offer to help with anything and everything.
How does it feel going from a small church like that to a big place like this?
It was definitely a really big shift for me. Coming to college, I wasn't really sure that I wanted to go to church at Memorial Road. I was really nervous because I'm not as outgoing as some people are. And so it was really intimidating thinking about going to a large congregation. But I went to the campus ministry class and I really just kind of connected with a few people in there. And that just made the biggest difference.
Anything to add, Caleb?
Woodward has probably like 150, 200 people. So yeah, big shift for sure. But our youth group was usually pretty sizable, 25 to 50 people at any given year. So we would come to church camp with Memorial Road at Petty John, especially my senior year we did that. So it felt like coming home, I would say. I knew Brian Plum was the youth minister at Memorial Road. And then my freshman year, he switched from being youth minister to being college minister over at the campus building. And so it really felt like coming home.
Okay, so you guys both came to OC. I'm assuming that's how you met. Like, I don't know. Tell us the story. How did you guys meet?
We actually met at a Bible study that Jeff Simmons was having at his house.
That is the best place to meet someone.
Yeah, it's so cute.
I love that.
Yeah.
I hadn't started school yet. I had just moved here and
We were doing before school.
Yeah, they were doing business boot camp for all the business majors. So we were here a little bit early, and Jeff Simmons invited all of the business majors over to his house for the Bible study. And when I went, I walked in and I met Caleb.
Love at first sight?
I don't think it was really love at first sight. I thought he was really cute, but I soon found out that he was leaving for a whole semester for study abroad.
I'll get to do this a couple times before I leave the country, and there she was, Anna Rose. I met her, but in my mind, it was like, I am not dating anyone. None of these people are attractive to me. I am against dating because I'm about to leave for 3 months.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to text someone the whole time. I actually had a friend that was doing that the whole time we were there, and I thought that would be awful. I just thought that would be the worst thing ever. I want to enjoy Vienna, where I spent 6 years growing up, reconnecting with my old friends and introducing my new friends to a lot of my old friends, and just loving being in Europe with all those people. So I was like, I can't have a girlfriend while I'm over there.
We didn't talk to each other while he was in Vienna.
Okay.
He got my phone number at the kickoff retreat, and then he left, and we didn't talk to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was smooth.
Was there any pining going on, or was she just kind of like out of sight, out of mind, and then?
I mean, out of sight, mostly out of mind. I was like, yeah, she's pretty, but I wasn't. I think she posted some pictures with her cows that semester on Instagram. I was like, that's cute. But other than that, I was pretty much out of mind.
How about you? Were you pining? Was there any?
No, I wasn't pining. Not really. I never contacted him.
But you were following him on
I
Instagram.
I did think he was really cute, and he was posting, his European pictures, and I was like, wow, he's a good-looking guy.
Okay.
Oh,
So you came back from Austria.
mm-hmm.
How much time, how did you guys reconnect?
It was really easy for us when he came back. We're both marketing majors, so we had 3 classes together.
Yep.
And then we had church and Bible study and lunch at the Arter's house every Sunday.
And then Bible study at the Simmons.
We saw
Sunday
each other
night.
6 or 7 days a week, every
Wow.
week
It
for
was almost every day.
3 to 4 months.
Seems like maybe there was something behind all that, putting you together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pushing you
Thanks,
together.
yeah.
Still didn't date.
No kidding. Just good friends. That's good.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
That whole semester, I had rushed Kai, I had rushed a club on campus, and I was stressed with that. I was trying to live up to expectations and do that really well because I had missed that first semester of school life. So, when you get back, it's like spring sing, club, all the stuff. You're introduced to all these crazy things all at once. And I was just not thinking about dating, but I was seeing her every single day. Here comes summer mission trip in Honduras with the campus ministry. And this is when it clicked for me. I mean, I watched her pick up a baby. Every time I was looking at her, she was holding a baby. She was holding a kid. She was like taking care of like a nurturing. And anyways, when I saw that, I was like, it just clicked.
I was determined to not have a boyfriend my freshman year of college. I just wanted to be involved in everything and have fun with my friends. So I was kind of avoiding him, or trying to, but it was impossible. He was everywhere. And our friends were trying to set us up, which kind of made us
The whole time.
more determined to not be together.
Yeah.
So we went on the mission trip.
We were fighting it.
Wow. So you guys have been dating then,
Well.
for a while.
Well,
Well.
he dumped me.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I dumped her. We started dating the summer after my sophomore year, after her freshman year, and I was in New Rain. So I was gone. I was in Oklahoma like 2 weeks out of the whole summer, maybe. That was really hard.
It was really hard. We went on our first date, and then he left for
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So I broke up with her as soon as school started back around because I thought, so I introduced her to all my friends after the summer. I was like, hey, these are my friends. And she was like, okay. And she was like quieter, hesitant, and a little bit nervous, and which is fine. But I was like started freaking out. I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. You want to talk about how we got back together?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. It was kind of hard that we were apart because we saw each other so often. And when we got back in the spring, so you broke up with me at the beginning of the fall semester. We got back in the spring. He, I guess, had made up his mind that he had messed up, and so he wanted to fix it. I did not know this, and I had made up my mind that I was just gonna finally get over it and move on. We went to Neil Arter's house in February for Super Bowl Sunday, and he was there, and he was flirting with me.
You were flirting with me.
No, you were flirting with me.
Okay, it was a little mutual.
And I actually got mad.
Yeah.
I left and I was mad, and I was talking to some of my friends, and they were like, yeah, it's not really fair to you that he's going to act like this if he broke up with you. I said, yeah, you're right.
And you're ready to say like, hey, you need to stop talking to me and flirting with me.
So then I'm just super anxious about it, super nervous, and I'm just praying about it. And
It's like, I'll call you after is what I said, yeah.
He goes on a walk.
I get out of spring sing practice and I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to call Anna Rose. And I was pretty much just dreading it. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. So I need to clear my head. I've just been screaming, singing, and dancing with 50 other guys. So I need to go have some time to myself. So I went on a little walk on the Eagle Trail, and it was probably 11:30 at this point because we do spring sing practice at 10 o'clock every night. So we would go, and I just did this walk by myself, and I started praying, and I started asking God what to do, and I was conflicted because I thought originally I was like, this is not who I should date. She's too quiet, all this stuff. I had this weird thought that I need someone who was loud and could match the energy and go crazy, and so I started praying, and I just gave it to God, and I said, God, if this is what you want me to do, then let's do it. And so I really was pouring out to God on this walk, and then she called me and I called her and we went and met.
He said, let's go talk. And I was like, okay. So he comes and picks me up. I'm ready for a phone call, not a real conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I get in the car and I just start chewing him out a little bit. I said, listen, this isn't fair. You don't get to treat me like someone that you like when you broke up with me. And he said, I don't know what you're talking about. And he turned the whole conversation around and I had no idea what to say. So I said, what's going to be different? And he's like, I'll be serious this time. I'll meet your family and all this stuff. So I jokingly said, okay, well, my sister has homecoming tomorrow. You can come and meet the fam.
We were not dating.
We were not dating
Wow.
or anything.
We were not hanging out.
He texted me the next morning and said, what time are you leaving? They all knew that I wasn't dating
Okay.
him. And so my grandparents, all 4 of my grandparents were there. They all met him. And my family, all my siblings, everyone.
They were super kind to me. Everyone was kind to me except her older brother, Tate. Yeah.
Then we dated.
We've been dating ever since.
That's just the way it goes sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you've got to learn along the way and you got to figure out, you go through some doubting, but then you guys came back together and you're like, okay, this is it.
I think he grew a lot during that time as far as relationship-wise.
Mm-hmm.
I think he just knew what he wanted more.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I think I grew more trusting of him the second time around.
Now I realize I'm so thankful for our differences because we don't like complete each other, but we complement each other because we can't complete each other without Jesus. But we complement each other so perfectly because I'm more outgoing, she's more reserved, and so she calms me down and I wake her up. And it's really been a blessing.
I like your story.
Have you heard how he proposed to me?
I think we need to hear about this.
I flew to Vienna for 2 weeks for study abroad, and he was planning behind the scenes. And one day, Scott and Sonia told me they were taking me to lunch, and we're walking through a park, and he's there on a bridge.
He flew over.
He flew over and surprised me and proposed in Vienna.
And they were to walk Anna Rose to the bridge that I used to play on growing up in Vienna. And it was about 10 days into your trip. And I told her I was on a duck hunt, which I was the day before. I was like, yeah, I was on this duck hunt. There's no service, all this stuff. I planned it perfectly because she was going on a trip where she didn't have service. And that was the day that I was flying. So when she called me, it wasn't going to, voicemail or whatever. She wasn't worried because she was on her own trip, didn't have service. So I landed in Vienna, and she's like, what are you doing? I sent her a picture of the duck hunt. Acted like I'm still on the duck hunt, and she's like, I'm sick, I can't talk to you. And then finally, she walks up to the bridge. Scott and Sonia take her to the bridge, and that's where I am. And she kind of runs out there. I get on a knee, and the rest is history. I don't even remember what I said. I had it all rehearsed the whole flight over. I was like, what am I going to say? What is it? Didn't matter, because I don't even remember what I said. I mean, I have it wrote down somewhere, but I mean, she said yes, and I gave her the ring.
You guys have been planning a wedding then for how long now? This happened?
Yes, 6 months.
6 months.
6 months.
This happened over the winter, so in January.
Yeah. What would you say have been some of the most difficult things about planning your wedding so far?
Just communication and expectations. I don't do a lot of the planning. I'm very blessed to have Anna Rose and her family who are very immensely supportive, and they're going to take care of us, and they've taken care of us, and they're paying for the whole wedding and everything that goes into that, and it's a huge blessing. And just trying to make everybody happy, I think, is another thing that's really difficult.
I am not a person who's always thought about planning a wedding. A lot of girls, I think, kind of have this dream wedding that they want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't really have one of those.
Well, some of the big things are venue. You got your venue. That worked out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And dress is always a big deal.
The dress is the big deal, but I found one, and I love it, so.
Yeah.
How does it feel right now to think I'm 2 weeks away from being married?
It's so exciting. I think I just went to a wedding yesterday, and that is the most real that it's felt. Just knowing that would be us in 2 weeks was super exciting for me.
Mm-hmm. It feels like an eternity for me. I'm working in Edmond, and she's in Wewoka, which is an hour and a half away, and I'll go see her a couple times a week, or she'll come here for something. But really, I'm just working and by myself. All I do is like watch TV, go to work, come home, make dinner, and watch TV. So it feels like the longest 2 weeks like they're gonna be. I hope that they go fast, but really, it's felt like a long time for me because I just work.
You mentioned the word covenant earlier. What does that word mean to you guys?
The first thing I think about is a friendship covenant, which is what my parents and our best friends in Vienna did whenever we moved back to the United States. And we did it in Croatia. And we had, I don't know, there was a whole bunch to it, but we walked through something together. I was real little. I was 10 years old, so I don't really remember it very well. But we are still very close with that family now. And it's because our friendship was rooted in Christ. Concerning marriage, I think it's even more than that. It's just
a promise.
A decision every single day to love and to take care of, and sickness and health. I mean, all the buzzwords you hear at a regular wedding, you throw it all together, and that's what I feel like in my mind. That's what a covenant is I am committing to love Anna Rose for the rest of my life, and I get to make that decision to treat her well. And sometimes I'm going to fail, but because we have a covenant together, I'm going to continue making that decision until I die. And so that's what it means to me.
I would say it's promising to love and honor each other and keeping a relationship with God at the forefront of that.
It's exciting to make that promise, isn't it? I mean,
yes.
Yeah. You both have traveled to Vienna, and obviously you lived there. We talked about that already. And mission work was part of your family history. Is mission work a possibility for you guys? Is that something that you entertain together as a couple?
It's funny because people ask that question, and we definitely want to be in a place to go if we feel God's calling us to go. We don't know what that looks like, but we want to be in a place to answer the call if we feel that's what we get. Go ahead.
It's something that we've definitely considered. I think me still having another year of school, we haven't talked about it as much.
Yeah.
Because we know we don't want to do it before I graduate.
Yeah.
But after that, it's a possibility.
Well, and thanks for being on the podcast, guys.
Yeah.
What a treat.
Thanks for inviting us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are in the launch class.
Started doing that. Started learning about the young adults and the different classes, the young adults ministry here. So, yeah, we're getting a feel for everything. So.
Well, if you're listening, be sure to get to know Caleb and Anna Rose. They're going to be in Hawaii for a couple of weeks here in 2 weeks. But anyway, maybe when they get back from there, if you don't meet them beforehand. Guys, thanks so much for being on the Young Adult World podcast today.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Lee. It was good to be here.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. I hope this conversation was meaningful to you. Come find us on Instagram. Our profile is Young Adult World Podcast. Tell us what you connected with during our podcast today. This podcast is part of the Young Adult Ministry at the Memorial Road Church of Christ in Edmond, Oklahoma. Come join us sometime. There's plenty of room for everyone. If you want to reach out to us, don't hesitate to email us at youngadultworldpodcast@gmail.com. And we are so grateful for Jacob Staten. Jacob is a young adult who edits this podcast for us and keeps this thing going. So thanks, Jacob. Okay, guys, see you next time for another Young Adult World conversation.